At 3 a.m. burning with a 42-degree fever, I accidentally typed a request for marriage leave instead of a sick leave request. At exactly 3 a.m. our icy and aloof female CEO kicked open my door, dragged me out of bed, and ran off with me. The fever had hit after a whole night out at a cafe with my buddies. The next morning, I checked my temperature. Sure enough, it had shot up to 42 degrees Celsius. There was no way I could go to work like this. With my head pounding, I texted the admin manager asking for a day off due to the fever. Right after sending the message, the headache got worse, so I wrapped myself in a blanket and passed out. I didn't expect to be woken up in the middle of the night by a loud noise. I thought one of my friends had come to bring me medicine. As I got out of bed to open the door, a woman stormed in and hugged me tightly. I was stunned and instinctively tried to push her away. If I hadn't been so weak from the fever, I might have jumped up and kicked her. I tried to stay calm. When I finally got a good look at her face, I was so shocked I started trembling. The woman who had just hugged me was Lily Johnson, the newly appointed, icy-cold CEO of our company, and also the campus goddess I had pursued for 4 years in college without success. Her eyes were slightly red, like she had just been crying. I took a sharp breath. Could it be that I skipped a day of work due to fever and the company went bankrupt? While I stood there in a daze, Lily Johnson stepped forward and pinched my ear. Ow, 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 let go. I'm a patient, damn it. She frowned at me, like she was trying to say something with her eyes, but I couldn't figure it out. The next moment, she yanked me by the ear out of my house. Then she threw me into a Maybach. Lily Johnson leaned halfway into the back seat, grabbed my shoulders, and forced me to look straight into her eyes. Her beautiful features were tensed, and she was slightly trembling. Ethan Parker, you're not allowed to marry anyone else. If you're going to get married, the bride has to be me. Lily Johnson gritted her teeth, spitting out every word with so much force it felt like she was about to bite me. Oh my God. I'm lying at home, and a wife just dropped from the sky. Back when I was chasing her, she wasn't like this at all. For years in college, I confessed to her countless times, brought her tea, poured her water, wrote love letters. Even posted public confessions. She rejected me every single time, with a different excuse each time. So how did a single fever suddenly make her demand to marry me? Is she the one with a problem, or am I so feverish I'm hallucinating? Just as I was about to slap myself to check, something soft suddenly pressed against my lips. Oh God, I just got kiss ambushed. I don't know how long it lasted, but eventually she let me go. Lily Johnson's ears were burning red. She gently stroked my cheek and said, Ethan Parker, you're still the same, your face flushes whenever you get nervous. I froze. Lady, is it not possible that I'm red in the face because I have a fever? Turns out Lily Johnson is surprisingly soft. At the hospital, I peeked through the curtain at the next bed, hers. She was leaning against the bed frame, one hand touching her cheek, the other arm hooked up to and for. Because of the fever, 2 buttons of her shirt were undone, revealing her pale, smooth collarbone. Her face was flushed, and her drowsy eyes stared ahead, lost in thought. That's right, she kissed me and caught the fever from me. After she dropped me off at home, she herself started burning up. In the end, I had to call 911 to send both of us to the hospital. Now we're both lying here, feverish and getting 4 drips. And honestly, I kind of want to laugh. Looking at her pitiful expression, for some reason, I suddenly felt completely recovered, refreshed, even. Just when I was basking in triumph, my phone rang. It was 1:30 a.m. Who could be messaging me at this hour? Turned out it was a group message. The corporate HQ had just issued an emergency late-night announcement. All leave requests must be submitted in writing. No requests via chat apps or verbal communication would be accepted. I nearly exploded. We were still allowed to message yesterday. I went back and checked the text I'd sent the admin manager. And when I did, holy crap. I realized I had typed fever, requesting marriage leave, instead of fever, requesting sick leave. In Chinese, the two phrases sound very similar. Suddenly, everything became clear. I felt totally cured. If that's the reason, then everything Lily Johnson said about marriage earlier now makes perfect sense. She thought I was about to get married, so she rushed in late at night to steal the groom. So that's what happened. I suddenly felt like crying. The sky wants to rain, father wants to marry, and now, the man I've been crushing on for so long might finally become mine? I pulled the curtain slightly and looked at her. Lily Johnson seemed to sense my gaze and turned her head away, shy like a young maiden. She really was good at playing the soft and sweet strategy. Hey, Lily Johnson, about what you said earlier. Getting married. What did you mean by that? I was too dizzy and didn't hear clearly. I tried probing her. She stayed silent for a while, probably battling some inner turmoil. Okay, maybe I really was just hallucinating from the fever. Sorry, I muttered. I sneaked a glance at her again. Still no reaction. Well then, I guess I'll get going. I'm feeling better now. Won't bother you resting anymore. I pretended to get up and gather my things. Ethan Parker, she softly called out. I want some water. There's water on the table. You can grab it yourself, I replied. She raised her arm with the 4-line. I can't drink by myself. All right. I picked up the glass and held it up to her. She snapped back to her usual cold tone. Don't you see I don't have a free hand to hold it? Then what's your left hand for? Shut up. Lily Johnson hid her left hand behind her back. If not for that beautiful face, I swear I would have punched her right then and there. After taking a few gulps of water, she kept staring at me. With that same look like losing me meant losing her entire world. I couldn't forget the way she looked earlier. Suddenly, the door to the hospital room creaked open. A woman around 50 years old tiptoed in. She paused when she saw me, then circled around me, inspecting me thoroughly. So this is my good son-in-law, Ethan Parker, right? Then she turned and glared at Lily Johnson. Lily Johnson, I heard you kissed your fiancé until he got a fever? Lily Johnson sat on the bed, looking completely wronged. Mom, your son-in-law kissed me until I got sick. What kind of nonsense is this? I kissed her and gave her a fever? Hold on, how did I suddenly become the Johnson family's son-in-law? Then, Lily Johnson began explaining the events of that afternoon. Apparently, when the admin manager was submitting the attendance sheet before the end of the workday, she casually mentioned to Lily Johnson that I had taken a day off to get married. Hearing that, the famously cold and expressionless Lily Johnson panicked in front of everyone for the first time ever. At first, she stood frozen for 10 seconds, then picked up a small fishbowl from the desk and gulped down several mouthfuls of water. After that, who knows what kind of psychological battle she went through. But she ended up calling her parents and telling them she was going to do something big, either succeed or make a name for herself. And that's how she ended up kicking down my door, as described earlier. Now, the three of us were sitting in the hospital room, looking at each other. The atmosphere was a bit awkward. If this is all just a misunderstanding, may I leave now? I stood up, forcing a smile. Auntie, I think Miss Johnson's fever is already down. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. No, both of them said in unison. Lily Johnson glanced at her mom, signaling something. Immediately, her mother exclaimed. Oh no! I forgot to turn off the stove under the chicken soup I was simmering at home. I have to go check. Then she turned to me, tone suddenly kind and sweet. Dear son-in-law, you just recovered from a fever. Your body is still weak, don't overexert yourself. Stay here at the hospital and rest with Lily. I'll go home and cook some chicken soup to nourish both of you. Lily Johnson conveniently lay back down on the bed. I can't take it anymore. I'm hungry, thirsty, and in pain. These two clearly knew their acting was terrible. Fine. I waved my hand. I'll stay and take care of Miss Johnson. After seeing off her mother, I crossed my legs and sat back in the chair. Lily Johnson, what exactly are you trying to do? I chased after you for 4 years. You rejected me every single time. And now you pull this? She turned around, reaching out as if to hug me, but the 4-line held her back. Powerless, she lowered her hand. When she looked up again, her eyes were red. Ethan Parker. I'm sorry. Sorry for what? I was genuinely confused. Before she could answer, the hospital room door opened again. Her mother peeked in and said, "Dear son-in-law, this is for you." She shoved something through the crack of the door, then quickly shut it again. I picked it up and saw that it was a locked diary. I turned to Lily Johnson for confirmation. Was this meant for me? She nodded slightly. I opened the diary. The writing was delicate and filled every page. I had liked her for 3 years, so of course I recognized her handwriting. May 22, 2020, Sunny. There was a Go tournament at school today. I played against his class. He actually cheered for me in front of his whole class. I signaled several times for him to stop calling my name, but he didn't seem to get it. He's kind of dumb, but also kind of cute. I remembered that moment. Back then, I thought she hated me. Why else would she glare at me like that? Her diary felt like a mundane daily log. Yet I couldn't stop reading. June 15, 2020, rainy. I saw him at the library again today. He came up and asked if he could walk me back to the dorm. I really wanted to say yes, but I couldn't. I turned him down. He looked so disappointed. My fingers clenched involuntarily. That day at the library, I did go to find her, just to walk her back. She turned me down, and I wandered back to my dorm alone, dejected for days. I kept reading. July 22, 2020, last exam over, summer break begins. Why does it feel so empty inside? I probably won't see him for a long time. I think I'll miss him. Don't read out loud anymore, she said, pretending to be calm. But when she picked up her glass of water, her hand trembled. The diary was thick, every page packed with the tender thoughts of a teenage girl. So she did like me. In fact, she liked me before I liked her. She rejected me all those times for a reason. Lily Johnson was born with a heart condition. She was afraid we wouldn't have a future, so she kept pushing me away. She really is stupid. Has she been reading too many romance novels? Since when does having a heart condition mean you're not worthy of love? She was afraid we wouldn't have a future. But what she didn't understand was, she was my future. She was the future I longed for day and night. From the very first glance, I had already thought of names for our future children. In our senior year of college, before Lily Johnson could graduate, she left. There were rumors she had gone abroad for a master's degree, but in truth, she left the country for heart surgery. Fortunately, the operation was a success. She took a year to rest and recover. Her health improved significantly, though her immune system remained weak, which is probably why just one kiss made her run a fever. I looked at Lily Johnson sleeping soundly in the hospital bed. You owe me 4 years. How are you going to repay that? After the surgery, she resumed her studies abroad. She turned down job offers from foreign companies. She had made up her mind to return home. In her diary, she wrote she came back to find me. I never thought I'd find myself in such a cliché romance novel scenario. I stared at her peaceful face, emotions surging. Since the day she left, I hadn't seen her again. In 4 years, she had lost weight. Her face no longer carried the youthful softness I remembered, but instead bore the calm, distant aura of someone who had seen much. Her features, already beautiful, had matured with time and experience into something even more refined. I gently pulled the blanket up to cover her a little more. "I get it now," I said quietly. "You don't need to apologize. I understand. I don't blame you. Health is the most important thing. Without it, nothing else matters. I know you came back because of me. You even joined our company on purpose. I understand how you feel. I'll think things over carefully, okay?" I said everything I'd been holding in. Lily Johnson turned her head to look at me, her eyes filled with both grievance and pain. "Idiot," she said with a smile. "Fine, think it over. But what do you need my drip for?" On my first day back at work after recovering, I heard 5 different rumors about myself, or more accurately, about us. I had barely warmed my office chair when a coworker dragged me aside. "Ethan Parker, you're finally here. I have some shocking gossip for you, want to hear it?" I nodded like a bobblehead. "You know the new manager, Miss Johnson? The cold and distant one? She didn't show up this week. Rumor has it she went home to steal a groom. My God, who would have thought that Ice Queen had such guts? What kind of man could make her go that far?" I nodded along in agreement. "Yeah, must be some amazing guy to win over a woman like her." Hearing that, I suddenly sat up straight. Exactly. Must be incredibly handsome. An hour later, in the restroom, I overheard another version. "Our boss, Miss Johnson, poor thing. Apparently, her fiancé went and married someone else. That's why she wasn't here last week, she went to crash the wedding. Not sure what happened exactly, but it's just heartbreaking. Who'd have thought someone so outstanding would get caught up in drama like this?" Yeah, I heard it too. That guy's trash. Two-timing scumbag." During lunch, I heard a third version. "They say Miss Johnson and her first love had a long-distance relationship for 5 years. They said that this year, once the man returned from abroad, they were supposed to get married. But instead, he turned his back on her and married someone else." Lily Johnson lost her mind and stormed into the wedding in a rage. The coworker gossiping spoke as if they had been there in person, confident and dramatic. If I hadn't actually been through it all with Lily Johnson, I might have believed them too. Finally, it was the end of the workday. I was packing up to go home when someone called out to me. "Ethan Parker, wait for me downstairs after work." I froze. So did the rest of the office. She had just recovered, her face still a little pale. She glanced at her watch and said, "In 10 minutes, be downstairs." Then Lily Johnson gave a small smirk, showing off her 2 little canine teeth. I stood there, stunned, and replied blankly, "Okay." As soon as she stepped into the elevator, chaos erupted behind me. "Oh my God, Ethan. You know Manager Lily? Why did she tell you to wait for her? What's going on? Yeah, when did you get so close to her? We haven't even seen her all week." I squeezed through the crowd. "We were classmates in college, of course I know her. She probably wants to talk about work. I was out for a week, remember? I don't know anything about that groom snatching stuff either, really." Then I rushed out, afraid if I stayed one more second I'd be exposed. 10 minutes later, I got into Lily Johnson's Maybach. She leaned over to fasten my seatbelt. Her slender fingers brushed lightly through my hair, completely unintentionally. This woman really knows what she's doing. As my mind raced, her voice suddenly whispered by my ear, "Ethan Parker, you're such a softie. Nearly 30 and still so easy to tease." I shook my head. I used to think I had gotten over her. But 3 months ago, the morning she first appeared at our company meeting, my heart still skipped a beat. She had returned as our newly appointed CEO. Wealthy, single, and beautiful. Within just 3 months, rumors about her spread like wildfire. She hadn't changed, still had that presence that made heads turn the moment she walked into a room. Truly, one shouldn't meet someone too dazzling when they're young. Or the rest of life will never feel enough. Would you come to my house this weekend for dinner? Lily Johnson asked softly, sneaking a glance at me. My mom wants to treat you. She said when I had the flu and fever last time, it was thanks to you taking me to the hospital and taking care of me. No need to thank me. It was nothing. I quickly replied. My mom's getting old, her health isn't great, and she can't handle much excitement. Her only wish is to have one proper meal with her future son-in-law. Lily Johnson's voice softened like a kitten begging. Wait a second. Future son-in-law? Don't just say stuff like that. May 15, 2020. That was the first time you confessed to me. You said you wanted to be my boyfriend, that you wanted to marry me. Her voice trailed off. When she turned to look at me again, her eyes were red. I'm sorry, Ethan Parker. Back then, I promised myself, if I survived, I'd definitely marry you. I gently placed my hand over her mouth. None of this life or death stuff, okay? Stop it. Just promise me you'll show up this weekend. Her eyes lit up instantly. And just like that, the weekend arrived. Lily Johnson had been waiting for me downstairs for a while. I hadn't even properly sat down in her car yet when she floored the gas and locked the doors. Like she was afraid I'd change my mind. When we arrived at the Johnson family villa, I hadn't even stepped through the door before her mother warmly welcomed me. Aunt Johnson was extremely enthusiastic. She treated me like family, like someone she had known for years. Even though we'd only met once. Noticing my confusion, Lily Johnson leaned in and whispered in my ear, "My mom has my entire diary memorized. She knows everything about you." Back when I thought I might not survive the surgery, I told her that if I didn't make it, she should bring the diary to you. She smiled. Luckily, I get to give it to you myself. That night, Aunt Johnson told me many things. About Lily, her illness, her heart, her regrets, and her hopes. She apologized to me several times. She understood how painful a young man's lost time could be, and said that if I no longer liked Lily Johnson, they wouldn't guilt me into anything. If you still have feelings for her, please give her a chance. If not, that's okay too. You deserve your own life. Just think about it carefully. On the way home, the two of us sat in silence. Then the car stopped in front of a bubble tea shop. You want some bubble tea? I'll get it for you. Taro and boba, like always? No taro this time, just boba. Okay. 5 minutes later, Lily Johnson got back in the car holding a cup of bubble tea. You used to love taro, didn't you? Why not now? She poked in the straw for me and muttered softly, right. Just boba. I pulled her head close and kissed her. I had agreed to be Lily Johnson's boyfriend. But on 3 conditions. For now, we would keep it a secret. After all, she'd only been at the company for 3 months, and if people found out I was dating the new, cold CEO so quickly, it would sound pretty bad. Worse still, just 2 months ago, when the office gossip about her was at its peak, I had even said some not-so-nice things about her myself. At work, I was constantly on edge, worried someone would find out. The company had a strict policy against office romance. But Lily Johnson didn't seem to care anymore. Every now and then she'd show up in my department. I told her not to keep hovering around our floor. She listened. But then found every excuse imaginable to call me up to her office. Like today. Just after the morning meeting, as I was turning on my computer, our team leader came rushing over, clutching his chest and panting, "Ethan Parker. Director Johnson wants to see you in her office." As soon as they heard that, every male colleague in the surrounding desks turned to look at me. I kept my cool, eyes on my screen, fingers typing away. "Sorry, sir, I'm really busy right now." 10 minutes later, "Ethan Parker, Director Johnson wants you to bring her last quarter's financial report." "Isn't that the finance department's job?" "Ethan Parker, Director Johnson asked you to print last month's time sheet." "Isn't that handled by HR?" "Ethan Parker, Director Johnson wants you to make her a cup of coffee. No sugar, just milk." "Sorry, I don't know how to make coffee." "Ethan Parker, the air conditioner in Director Johnson's office is broken. She wants you to go take a look." That's it. I'd had enough. Amid the whispers of my colleagues, I dragged a chair into Lily Johnson's office. Then, I used a kiss to tame her into behaving. Under the curious stares of the others, I could only explain. "I'm just here to fix the air conditioner. I took an elective in electromechanical repair in college." Dylan Brooks pulled me aside, speaking mysteriously, "On Ethan, you'd better stay away from Lily Johnson. Don't you see she's trying to seduce you?" My heart tightened. Was it really that obvious? Didn't she just have a fiancé show up to crash her wedding not long ago? And now she suddenly wants to flirt with me? Clearly, her character is questionable," he said with disdain. "We were all fooled by her looks, thinking she was loyal." As he went on complaining, I nervously raised my hand, nodding in agreement. Yeah, you're right." But when Dylan Brooks looked like he was about to say more, I quickly pushed him down into a seat. "I really am here to fix the air conditioner. She and I were college classmates. She knows I can fix simple electrical stuff. Get it? On Ethan, I might be a bit slow, but don't treat me like an idiot," he said, half suspicious. "Really, I'm not lying. We'll talk more later." And just like that, 2 months passed. Our playful game of, you hide, I chase, was completely shattered by the arrival of Tyler Smith. Tyler Smith was the director of public relations. Still young, 1.8 meters tall. He had a gentle, soft-spoken manner. The type of guy who was lethal to quiet, homebody girls. He'd been sent abroad for a half-year training course, and had just returned. Naturally, a golden canary like him, in a company full of gossip, was already the subject of many rumors. According to them, he'd dated more women than there were strands of hair on his head. A dream guy for countless girls. His dating history could be published into a book. We had even anonymously posted on the company forum, "Director, please write a book. Teach us your dating secrets." Tyler Smith was a nice guy. Every time he returned from abroad, he brought us little souvenirs. He had a friendly personality, and apparently came from a wealthy family. A true second-generation rich kid. But he never showed off. However, all of that only mattered, because he wasn't my romantic rival. From the moment Tyler Smith came back, I was filled with unease. He seemed to be the kind of man every woman would fall for. Tall, 8-pack abs, stylishly permed hair. I started losing confidence in my relationship with Lily Johnson. Why? Because in just 5 days since his return, he had entered Lily Johnson's office 8 times. I admit it. After the 8th time, I panicked. I accidentally found Tyler Smith's secret Twitter account. Last night, he posted, "I'll have you within a month." That, I was almost certain, was referring to Lily Johnson. Could I tolerate this? Of course not. So when Tyler Smith started playing coy in front of Lily Johnson, I started pretending too. If Tyler Smith poured her coffee, I'd bring her a cup of milk. If he slipped a photo of himself into a file for her, I stuffed a dozen airbrushed photos of me into the documents I handed her. 1 week later, in the car, Lily Johnson looked at me with a puzzled expression. "Ethan Parker, have I upset you lately?" "Why would you say that?" I asked. "Today, you broke the succulent plant in my office once, tripped me 3 times, messed up my documents 4 times. Ethan Parker, do you not love me anymore?" I sat up straight immediately. "Why does Tyler Smith keep going into your office? He's reporting work. Besides, he messed up my photocopies too." "Really?" I raised an eyebrow. Lily Johnson fell into deep thought. "You're right. Something's off with him." Before I could finish, she interrupted, "Maybe he wants to quit." She looked self-satisfied, thinking she'd figured it out. "But that can't happen. He holds too many important client contacts. I need to tell HR to keep an eye on him, we can't risk losing any clients." She kept muttering to herself, feeling like she had just uncovered some major conspiracy. Well then. The world of CEOs is clearly beyond us mere mortals. For several days, my co-workers had been secretly placing bets on how many more days it would take for Tyler Smith to win over Lily Johnson. Hey, it's obvious Tyler Smith is into her, right? Even a fool could see it. But didn't she have a fiancé? Wasn't there some drama a while back that didn't work out? She's not even wearing a ring anymore. Oh. That means she's fair game again. Exactly, not wearing a ring means she's single. That night, I dragged Lily Johnson out for a walk, and on the way, bought her a ring. And slipped it onto her ring finger. Then I started planning for the right moment to publicly say we'd been dating before she joined the company. That way no one could accuse us of an office romance. That afternoon, just before getting off work, I texted Lily Johnson. "Let's go for a walk tonight?" But to my surprise, she declined, saying she had some work left to finish. "I have to work late," she added with a pitiful emoji. "Alright, we'll do it another day." After getting off work, I went straight home, got busy in the kitchen, and prepared a lavish dinner, waiting for her to come over after her overtime shift. But 8 p.m. came, and still no word. Afraid she was busy, I didn't dare call. So I just kept waiting. By 9 p.m. she still hadn't replied to any of my messages. That wasn't like her. I couldn't explain it, but unease was creeping into my heart. Still, I told myself, trust her. I packed the dinner into a thermal container, threw on a jacket, and grabbed a cab straight to the office. When I arrived, I looked up. The lights on the 18th floor were already off. She had already left. So where was she? Why wasn't she answering my messages? I pulled out my phone and called her. A mechanical voice responded, "The number you have dialed is currently busy." Just as I was about to leave, I glanced back at the company one more time. Something didn't feel right, the lights on the 18th floor seemed to still be on. I turned around and ran back toward the company. For some reason, as I got closer, I purposely slowed down. "Miss Johnson, be gentle." "Alright, hurry up." That weak voice was Tyler Smith's, while the low, soothing voice was Lily Johnson's. Tyler Smith sounded a bit anxious. Alright. The two of them were secretly meeting behind my back in the office. It was hard to imagine that the woman who had held me in her arms and called me husband yesterday, was now with another man in the office. I wasn't someone to be easily intimidated. I kept telling myself, it's fine. I'll just keep my composure. I could let go once, and I could let go a second time. A woman doesn't move forward unless she lets go of the past. I should learn from Tyler Smith's attitude. A new partner every year, 99 out of 81. I took a deep breath, immediately took out my phone, and turned on all the lights in the company. I had to see what the two of them were up to. As soon as the lights turned on, I froze. Lily Johnson and Tyler Smith froze too. "What are you two doing down here?" I was the first to speak. Lily Johnson reacted quickly and rushed to the office desk to turn off the lights. Then, she pulled me down onto the floor with her. I was completely dumbfounded. Lily Johnson pulled me next to her. Tyler Smith was squatting down, looking at a laptop on the floor. "Just 10 more minutes, and the files will be copied. Let's keep going." "What are you two doing here?" I asked, lowering my voice. Lily Johnson kicked my leg lightly under the desk. "Just 10 more minutes." The computer screen showed, "File transfer complete." Tyler Smith grabbed the hard drive and said, "Thank you. Pleasure working with you. What are you really doing?" I couldn't suppress my curiosity. "Let's talk at home later." Lily Johnson grabbed my hand. "There's a saying, the simplest business battles are the ones where you can obtain criminal evidence of the other party's wrongdoings, rendering them unable to lift their heads for life." In the past 2 months, Tyler Smith had been pretending to be part of the company. One of the company's other directors, Mr. Richard, had been trying to find a way to ruin Lily Johnson. Lily Johnson deliberately let him make mistakes, waiting until he was careless before trapping him completely. After months of scheming, Mr. Richard was finally done for. Lily Johnson and Tyler Smith helped the company recover hundreds of millions in losses and managed to successfully eliminate Mr. Richard's faction. As a low-ranking employee, I couldn't understand such high-level corporate battles. In the end, it wasn't long before the company's dynamics shifted. As for the Twitter status update that Tyler Smith posted, it wasn't about Lily Johnson, but his new target. Of course, he succeeded once again. At the company's year-end party, Lily Johnson, in her new role as the appointed director, was going to give a speech. I sat in the audience, watching her shine on stage. She was looking down, typing on her phone. A moment later, my phone buzzed twice. "Ethan Parker, here's a surprise for you." I quickly sent 3 question marks in reply. Before I could finish my words, the MC had already invited Lily Johnson onto the stage to give her speech. In the audience, hundreds of people were focused on her. The male colleagues in the company had already pulled out their phones and were snapping photos non-stop. I watched as Lily Johnson adjusted her outfit, then her gaze swept across the crowd, landing on me. "Thank you for the recognition everyone has given me, allowing me the opportunity to stand on this stage. I won't say much in the way of formalities. I'm up here today because I want to thank one person. It is because of him that I have been able to persevere with my heart. He is my courage, my belief, and my light." Lily Johnson said many things after that, but I couldn't hear any of it. When everyone's eyes were fixed on me, I could only hear the pounding of my heart. Lily Johnson walked toward me in front of everyone. Dylan Brooks, standing next to me, was pressing acupoints on my face to calm me down. Tyler Smith was taking photos rapidly, sending them to his new girlfriend, and even my usually stern department head had a knowing smile on his face. They all nudged me toward Lily Johnson. Lily Johnson smiled brightly, her eyes filled with tenderness. When she reached me, she took out a diamond ring and kneeled in front of me. "Ethan Parker, I've been waiting for this day for so long. From the first time I met you 7 years ago until now, I've been waiting for this day every single day. Will you marry me?" I felt like I couldn't breathe. Amid the cheers and applause of everyone, I took out the diamond ring I had secretly bought, and with a smile, I said, "I do," then rushed forward to hug her tightly. If you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel and keeps more videos coming your way. Thank you for listening.